How y'all doing? This is Rob Burnham, here, Preacher Man R&B, and this another episode of Richard TV 91. This time I'm doing another Christmas classics, and this time I'm reviewing Finding Mrs. Claus. Finding Mrs. Claus is about this woman Noelle and her daughter writes a letter to Mrs. Claus to help her mother find the love of her life. Mrs. Claus gets this letter, and at this time, Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus are growing apart because Santa Claus is so busy getting ready for Christmas that he's ignoring Mrs. Claus. So after this, Mrs. Claus goes to Las Vegas where Noelle's mother is, and she's trying to find uh, the love of Noelle's life. So she's going around trying to find all these single men, and what happens is she finds all these guys and she brings Noelle up to her room and she gets scared off and she gets her friend who's the bartender to help her get out of this. And after this, Mrs. Claus is trying to figure out what to do, and she's getting swindled by the manager of the casino, and he's the thief that has been stealing all these women's jewelry. And Santa Claus's elf that went with them figures this out and ties them up for the security guard. And Santa Claus's elf finds Mrs. Claus and tells Mrs. Claus to meet Santa Claus at the bar at a certain time. Well, Santa Claus winds up getting arrested because he's trying to break up a fight, and then his elf uh, comes and bails him out. And then he gets back up with Mrs. Claus and explains what happens. And Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus wind up renewing their vows. And after this, they team up to get Noelle with her friend that's the bartender, and he goes and helps at the Christmas recital that Noelle's daughter is at and helps her sing or whatever. And he gets a contract to sing at casinos around the strip. And then car breaks down, and Mrs. Claus and Santa tells them that they need to be together and to look in front of them. And then they ride back to the North Pole. And Noelle, her daughter, and the bartender sees them right off. And then they wind up getting together, and a year passes, and they wind up getting married and invite Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus to the North Pole. And that's all that really happened. If y'all ever watched Finding Mrs. Claus, what did y'all like about it? As always, Preacher Man R&B signing out. Guys, GG is awesome. This has been another episode of Retro TV 91. See y'all next time.